Alrighty. Let me pull up your class here and see where we are. Um, a couple things first. Since we didn't meet yesterday, so you probably have heard by now that you all are returning to school, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, ninth and 12th graders on the 8th, I believe, and then 10 and 11 on the 15th. I think that sounds right. But again, don't go check your emails and stuff you got from the district. So that's great news. The bad news for us is that that does not include tech school. So we will still be Zooming with each other, but you'll be doing it. I don't know if they're going to have a room for y'all to go to or library. I'm not really sure how that worked. And actually, you know what? I take that back. Derek, I noticed on there that they kind of grouped your school, Carter G, in with us. So I think that, does that sound right, Derek, that you're still going to be at home Zooming the whole day?
I believe so.
Yeah, I saw that you were on the list too. And probably, I guess, because you all students at your school are from all over the district instead of living, in like one neighborhood. So the reason you all is because there's a real bad bus driver shortage. So, but I'm being optimistic. I mean, that's still like 3 weeks away. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed that they get some bus drivers hired. They've increased the pay for it and added, that nice incentive of nice pay. And so we'll just keep our fingers crossed that maybe in March that we'll still get to be together in person. Okay. Yeah. So I just saw Aiden's message. Aiden, are you STEAM Academy?
I'm TLC.
TLC. Okay, awesome. Another great school. Yeah, the special programs, which are also like all great schools. Um, yeah, I've forgotten about that too. So yeah, so some of y'all will still, I'm sorry, still be at home. Anyway, but as I said, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that we'll get some bus drivers in with that. And they're advertising it, so I know they're working really hard. So we'll still, I'm encouraged. We'll see each other really soon. So with that, just want to go over Urbane. Thank you so much for recording the short little video here about why you like Eastside and that you love, CTE is for me. I encourage the rest of you all to do one. And as I said, I'm giving out 25 bonus points that you can spread out over any work. I suggest usually do it at the end of the semester so you can kind of look, and if you want to put 5 points there, 10 points there, what have you. But if you can get that to me by tomorrow, since February got away from me, I wanted to ask for this sooner, but it just got away from me. So I highly encourage you all to do that, and it would be much appreciated. So let's get to our show and finish kind of fine tuning our planning on it so we can record Monday. And let me see, I'm trying to keep up with where I have, there we go. I don't remember if I put this in your third block class or your fourth block class. Let's see. Might be in here. Okay, here we go. So you all actually got further along on your planning than we did with AM. So which I'm going to encourage, I'll post them for both of y'all. They're coming up with a really good show that I'm excited about as well. Both of these are going to be great. So I guess today what I want to do is, what do you all think? And again, I'm just kind of throwing things out there. I know we said Derek would be one of our hosts since we're doing features, with like, almost the rest of you. What do you all think of? We can have Derek kind of be like the main, like introduce different segments and shoot it, on his green screen, like, like a real show. But then when we go into some of the segments, and again, Aiden has graciously volunteered to edit again, we can cut things out. But when I'm just thinking out loud here that Monday, when we do it, that we can almost do it like sort of a talk show roundtable where like, multiple people could ask, like we can bring all of our musicians together and then like multiple people could share stories about being musicians. And then of course, obviously, if you don't have anything to say about something particular, you can leave your camera off. But then if you do, you can turn it on to say something, so we can edit that in there and almost do it more of a everyone contributing. So, and I know we kind of already talked about that a little bit, but what do y'all think about that? About just having Derek being like the primary host that introduce, welcome to the da 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 da, and Derek being sort of the face of the show to get us started on different segments. But then obviously then we'll all kind of chime in. How do y'all feel about that? Anyone? Okay. All right, let's kind of go with that as a plan. Then now let's get to this portion of Urbane, Aiden, and Alexis. So if you all between now and Monday can get any like Alexis, I know you said, and you also said that any home video might be embarrassing, but even if you had any photos, or if you have any photo, video, anything that you can find old, and then like Urbane and Aiden, if you still have access to your instruments, if you could even set up a camera or get someone in your family to do it, or even just set up your computer, Urbane for a piano, you'd have to put it over there, but you have cameras with tripods there, so you could do that. But get just a little bit of B-roll of you all playing the instrument. And again, we don't have to worry about it being like fancy and edited into, a story file. I'm just thinking just some raw B-roll that we can cover up and edit in while we're talking about that, or even to introduce the segment where we would play like 15 seconds or so that. And I just realized I left off, maybe I didn't save that. Owen, was it trumpet?
It was trombone.
I don't know if I didn't save that in there, but that just grabbed my attention. So the same to you, Owen, if you have any photos or anything from back in the day of playing. If that's going to kind of be your kind of assignment between now and Monday to have that ready to go. Again, any photos, video of those of you who might not have the instrument around anymore. And then those of you who do, just set up a camera and just get some, maybe a minute or so of just raw video of you playing the instrument. That way we have some visuals to go to edit in with our talk show. So then my second to do that I want everyone Even, and I think this will be even for the musicians, it'll be, your questions will be good because you each play something different, but you also know the mind of a musician. So you might ask someone, my two-string instrument, you might ask a question that musically related, but that relates to a wind instrument, to Owen, or piano, and vice versa. So I want you all to just I want you to come up with some questions, and so we have them ready. So again, even though in a talk show you have you kind of in your mind pre-prepare questions, and or I'm flip-flopping this, even in a talk show where we're being more off the cuff natural, you still in your mind want to have kind of that bullet list of pre-prepared questions off to the side. You're not going to be reading them, you don't want to do that because we want to have an organic conversation. But you want to, once you write them down, they're kind of in your mind. So that's what I want everyone to do, is kind of come up with questions that you think would be entertaining. So maybe you have a funny story about like any of you all who played in recitals or anything, or in band, maybe you have a funny story. Like my mom tells me the story. My mom played, well, I use the word played. You'll hear why I use that loosely. When she was in high school, my mom was well, now that I think about it, this is kind of sad. She was a majorette where they twirl the baton, but mom said she didn't really twirl the baton much because it was too hard. So she said she just liked to march and do this and look cute. And then she was in band for a while and played the clarinet, but she said she didn't really play the clarinet. She just pretended. So, maybe you have some kind of story about something funny. So just think of your questions that you could ask. And then once we get that bullet list of questions, again, I want all of us to do that. And I'll do it too, me included. I'll come up with some too. And then we can kind of pre-discuss that on, I'm going to do, well, yeah, I am. For tomorrow, I am going to put a Google Doc in the Friday thing, and you can type up your questions in there. That way we have one document that we all can kind of see what people are thinking. So let's do that. That'll make it, I think, easier. That way you don't have to remember where they are, and we have all the questions in one place. I think that'll help. So I'll put that in there under tomorrow, and I'll put a Google Doc that anyone can jump in there. And then Derek will also work on, I feel like I already may have started this kind of document. We'll start with what your introduction is going to be. So if anyone, not just Derek, even though he's going to read it, but if anyone has any introductions for the segment, that would be good as well. So do you all, other than that, have any other ideas of, I think this will be an interesting little talk show. So do any of y'all have any other ideas that you would like to add for the show?
No, ma'am.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, well, that's all I want. I want y'all to, instead of us just sitting here, just spend your time kind of thinking. So I'll go ahead right now when we get off and put that document in there. So if you want to go ahead and start thinking, and over the next few days, if something pops in your head, go in there and type it in there. That way we'll be prepared with our questions. Go find any photos you might have or old home video, and or shoot some, those of you still have your instrument, shoot some clips of you playing. So, or even just clips of, if you're feeling real creative, artsy, whatever, you can even get, if you video of the actual instrument, kind of close-ups of it not being played, just to show the instrument. Because, let's say Aiden's talking about the ukulele, and she's like, well, I like the, it's smaller, and like if she's talking about things about the instrument and what drew her to it, we might just want to see the instrument without hearing it being played. So you all decide, it's your show, you decide visually what will work. So let's see, So Urbane, literally just questions about that you think people be interested in. So, off the top of my head, based upon the discussions we already had, when did you start playing music? Why did you start? What drew you to the particular instrument you chose? How did you learn? Because some of you said you're self-taught. So see, I'm already thrown out a bunch of questions. Feel free to type them in there. Um, uh, how describe how you feel when you're playing the instrument. Maybe do you have any, who are your musical inspirations? Some people have um, musical inspirations, like their favorite. I don't know if you all have seen this video. Have you all seen this little girl in England, Nandy? I think her name, Nandy. I forget her last name, but oh my Lord, if you just type in Google Nandi, Nandy drummer, it'll pop up. This little girl is flipping amazing. And she had a drum battle via Zoom with Dave Grohl, of the lead singer of Foo Fighters, but he used to be he's really known as a drummer. Well, he's known as the Foo Fighters now, but he was in the band Nirvana and he was their drummer. So they had this like dueling band thing. It was like amazing. This little girl, she's going places big time. But so anyway, she has her little, like, she loves Dave Grohl. And so that's kind of, she was doing some Dave Grohl band thing, drumming things online. And then some people showed it to Dave Grohl and they're like, have you seen this girl in England, like doing your, riffs and stuff? And he was like, no. And then like he reached out to her and everything. It was really cool. So, so that could be a question. Do you have any, musical inspirations, or just we can even go off. It doesn't even have to be someone who played what you played. You can just be like, well, who do you like musically? What type of music? I mean, so this can evolve into so much more than just individuals playing music. It can evolve into a really interesting show, and we'll let the conversation go where it goes. And if it does evolve into like music in general and current things, well, we'll go find images or whatever we need to edit into that section. So we're gonna have fun with it and just let it evolve, let it go where it goes. So Urbane, I know that's me typically being long-winded, but so yeah, just whatever questions that you think would be interesting, just be curious. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, that's all I have for today, because I want you all to just focus on coming up with questions. So just again, check back in. I'll have that document there here shortly for you. And, over the next 3-4 days, if you think of something, just pop in there and type it in there. And then otherwise, a couple of you all I will see here today or tomorrow, and then otherwise I'll see everybody else Monday. Okay, so you don't have to log back in here later. That's all we're doing today. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you. We'll see you later. Y'all have a good day too. Bye-bye.